Hey guys, Kim here from Kim on a Whim, and let me just say how excited I am to take you guys along on this Decorate with Me for Halloween. Probably one of the favorite holidays here for Mia and myself. We love coming up with stuff to put around the house. We're concentrating today on the inside. We're doing the kitchen and the living room. I will have another video for the stuff for outside as well because that stuff's kind of cool too. And I will say, like, I can't take any credit for the outside stuff. That was all Mia. And you'll see here too, like, she did a lot in here as far as different kinds of Dollar Tree stuff, especially that we were able to make our own. So I'm really hoping that you guys enjoy this video. Like I said, so excited about it. But first, I need to do some dusting because honestly, once this stuff is up, it's going to be really hard to kind of move it out of the way to dust anything. So I'm going to get a good dusting going now, and then we'll get into the decorating in just a few minutes. I think I've told you guys in previous videos that I really don't have a lot of room to store stuff. So what I've been doing is using just pillow covers that I find on Amazon. And I just put my pillows that I usually keep out into the covers. That way it just makes it easier not having to store tons of pillows for the different seasons. So I'm going to go through, take off all the covers that I have for the spring and summer season, which was the yellow. And I'm going to pick all of the feathers off of these pillows. I swear these pillows are half the size they were than when I originally bought them because the feathers just keep coming out. I do have to invest in some new ones and I will eventually, but for now, these are going to work. I will say that I usually stick with a traditional colorings for Halloween, the oranges, blacks, and purples for the most part, because I do tend to like them, and even though they don't quite go with the colors that I have in the living room, I still like those colors for Halloween. So now we're moving on to decorating the mirror here, and this is just netting that I found at the Dollar Tree, which you will see going up as a decoration in a lot of places because I do have it here in this black, and then there is some cream one that I have as well. And I will say a lot of our stuff that we decorate with is from the Dollar Tree. However, these lights, I think we got these at Target years ago. We've probably had them for about 4 or 5 years, and that little like startle that was Mia's reaction was they have this horrendous electrical noise to them, and I was seeing if the battery still worked and kind of scared her, but oops, sorry. Now I'm just going to move on to dust off this table here to get this ready to put some pumpkins on, and you'll see like it's kind of a trial and error. If you put something down, step back, take a look at it, see if you like it there. For instance, there's going to be something you're going to see here. I didn't like it here, so I moved it to a different room. I am actually going to use it in the kitchen instead. But then I'm also remembering I didn't put my bats on my lampshade. We like to do these little cutout bats that we go to the dollar store, we get their black poster board, and Mia just cut bats out and we stick them with a little piece of tape on the inside of our lampshade. So I have to remember to do that, and I'll include that. Maybe I'll put that on my Instagram as like a little story there because it is really cute, especially when you have the lights on and it gets a little darker. It looks really neat. Guys, I cannot tell you how many times I knocked over this little Rick statue from Rick and Morty and it kept falling off the base. You would think like the first time, like, okay, oops. The second time, why don't I just move it out of the way until I'm done? The third time, I just kept knocking it off. Every time I would move the table, it would just fall and break apart. And I'm like, oh, don't you learn? Now we're just trying to figure out the best spot for our little buddy here, Jack Skellington, which leads me to a question for you guys. What would you say is your favorite Halloween movie? Jack Skellington here, he kind of hangs out from October all the way through January because we also like to put our Christmas tree up to A Nightmare Before Christmas, which I don't know. It's probably one of our favorites. We actually do have a lot of favorite Halloween movies. So down in the comment section down below, let me know what your favorite Halloween movies are. Alright, so I'm not sure how well this is going to go over, but Mia and I decided to move the sound bar at my husband's television. Now, I know this shouldn't sound like it's a big deal. However, the one thing that my husband always says is not near the TV. And he doesn't like anything decorated near the television, like anything that's distracting from his movies. It's one of his little quirks. That's okay. We get over it. And that's this one thing that you always hear him say, not near the TV. I guess we all have our own little sayings. Like, I know for me, it's move something because it's always the kids coming out saying, I can't find, or where is this? And my response is always, move something. Because 9 times out of 10, they're where it is. They just need to move something and look behind either, when they go into the refrigerator, just move the iced tea and guess what? The soda that you're looking for is right behind it. Or move the bowl that has leftovers in it because your snack is right behind it. Just move something. My husband's is not near the TV. Surprisingly, this wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. He was fine with it. Was he grumbling a little bit? Yeah, but oh well, he'll get over it, right? Here we're doing more of the little netting like you saw there at the TV stand. It was the cream color netting that we found at the Dollar Tree. And now we're going to put some over here on the side window. One thing we do like to add is some of the spider rings. And they're kind of cool because they can just kind of hook in there, the little opening for the ring part. So they're also neat to kind of like put in little areas here on this netting. When I get mad, I cannot control what might happen. You think you can. So here's a perfect example of kind of just using what we have. We had this white candle sitting with a whole bunch of candles that aren't really used anymore. And then I have this cherry candle that for some reason I don't burn it that much. I don't know what it is about the scent. It's not one that I gravitate towards. However, I really like the red color of it, and I thought it would be perfect to make this dripping candle that I'm going to make here that's going to be on the sconces out in the living room. And you pretty much just let it melt for as long as you want, like as long as you get a decent amount of wax in there, and then just drip it over the white candle. I'm not going to be burning these candles once they're up on the sconces just because I have that netting and that's just too much of a fire hazard for me. I'm really like kind of a little crazy when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't particularly care for burning candles unless they're burning on my stove because I figure, that's where I have flame and everything and that's where the water is if I should ever need it. But That's one of my little OCD things. But I think this candle turned out really cool. And wait till you see how it looks on the sconces in the front room. Now we're moving on to making these little houses into stands. We're going to put these above the kitchen cabinet, so make sure you don't click off yet because you will see that towards the end of this video. But the first thing we need to do is make them stand up. And because they're so like thin, we need it to make a base. So we got the houses from the Dollar Tree, and we also got the popsicle sticks from the Dollar Tree. And then you see this little rest in peace and pumpkin. That was also from the Dollar Tree, but it came as like a little hanging set. So it had a pumpkin, a skeleton, and a rest in peace all on the same like string, so that you could just hang it like that. But we decided to take it apart so we could make it into these little things that would stand up along the top of the cabinets. And then we're going to spray paint everything. The houses are going to be spray painted black. The rest in peace is like this gray kind of textured spray paint. And then we have the pumpkins that are going to be orange, and then you're going to see ghosts that we painted white. So it's really cool. And never underestimate your Dollar Tree that you think is not going to have anything, because I went to all of these newer Dollar Trees in my travels. Like one was down near my mom's house, and then one was like over in a different neighborhood, and every time I walked into these Dollar Trees, I couldn't find anything. I walked into this little Dollar Tree that I thought, oh, it's not going to have anything. You know, it's an older one. There's a larger store, like not that far from it, that probably gets everything. The little Dollar Tree had all of this stuff in it, and I was so impressed. Like, I was really amazed at the cute stuff that they did have. So now you're seeing me out here just spray painting the houses. So we'll go through, we'll spray paint everything, and you'll get to see what that looks like in just a few minutes. So the houses were sitting outside for a few hours and dried, and we threw up some orange lights, and now we're just going to go through and space them over the cabinets. And here's, my house is kind of old, and I guess everything has settled or everything is just crooked. I'm not sure which one. But nothing lets you know how crooked everything is until you're trying to space out something like this. For the most part, the houses were the same size. But I think it was just everything else that was a little off. So I did have to go in, especially on these houses here, the one with the points on the very tips. I had to go in and cut them down a little, but I didn't want to cut the top off. So what I did was cut the bottom portion off, and that was real easy with just a pair of scissors because these were pretty thin. But I hope you guys like this. I think this turned out really cute. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. So now we moved into day I don't know, because at this point it has been days that we were decorating. I think it took us about a week and a half doing inside and outside. And now I'm just moving on to the kitchen area here where the table is. I'm going to put some more of that netting up from the Dollar Tree. I'm kind of seeing a theme here. I used a lot of this netting, and I used a lot of the spider webs outside, which, can we just talk for a minute at how difficult that stuff is to get off of anything that you put it on? I made the mistake one time of using it in the house, and I had spider webs in June. And like, not the regular spider webs that you get because we don't dust enough, or, you know, there's that little area under the table that you always forget to wipe down. I mean this Dollar Tree spider web stuff that will never go away. But, anyway, now I'm just going to clean off the table so that I can get the centerpiece done on the table here. One of the things that I think works really well under this netting is any of these fairy lights. And I know the Dollar Tree, I have seen them in some of the Dollar Trees. The purple ones that I have here, Mia happened to pick those up at, I believe, Target this year. And then I'm just going to put on some of these pumpkins. I have a little gold skull from the Dollar Tree. And then again, using what I had, we had these pillar candles that we don't use. So I just stuck it in an empty wine bottle and let the wax drip down over it. Now I have seen where people spray paint these black, and that turns out really cool too. I might try that on one of them. I'm going to see. I do like how it looks here though. And then I will show you also, I did a branch that I found outside that I just stuck these little bats onto, and I'll show you that one coming up. Alright guys, and this is how everything looks at night. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, hit that red subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!